everyone. Welcome back to Goffstown Today, the new local public affairs program is being brought to you by the Goffstown Democratic Committee. Our goal in this series is to provide meaningful discussions of local and state issues important to the greater Goffstown community. Today, we're going to be showcasing two more of our Super Six, Democrats' great local candidates for the 6 state representative seats that serve the people of Goffstown. Over the coming weeks, we're going to be presenting all of the Super 6 candidates and also spotlighting many issues of importance to Goffstown and to New Hampshire voters in this fall's election. We'll get things started today with Dick Bruno, who is a longtime Goffstown resident. Dick and his late wife, Patty, moved to Goffstown more than 40 years ago when Dick started a business in Manchester. Both Patty and he were heavily involved in the Goffstown community as members of town boards and many other volunteer efforts. Dick stepped back from town involvement after Patty passed away during their 2 children's formative years. His 2 children are now grown and thriving. Dick is semi-retired and wants to serve the town and its people who helped his family through difficult times. Dick is an Army veteran who served in Vietnam and was awarded a Bronze Star. The other candidate you're going to meet today is Bruno+McCune, who, with her husband Adam, moved to Goffstown in 2004 for the same reasons so many other people do. The great quality of the schools for their 3 children and all the benefits the community offers to residents. Robin has a bachelor's degree from Southern New Hampshire University, certification in holistic nutrition, and has a background in working with nonprofits. She's been on the board of directors of several nonprofit organizations and worked for 12 years with various animal welfare organizations. So let's begin with Dick Bruno. Dick, please tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Len, and thank you for having me. This is a great opportunity. I thank you and Marie Morgan, who heads up the Democratic Committee in Goffstown. This is a great forum and good for the citizens of Goffstown to hear their candidates who they would like to represent them in Concord. I'll just start by filling in a couple of things that Len gave me a great introduction, and I thank you. I am a college graduate. I graduated from Boston College, and I've been in business, both managing and owning my own business, mostly in transportation services. So more recently, I retired from my full-time position, which was a transportation director at Seacoast Learning Collaborative, where we bus special needs students. So I'm probably a guy that you've seen around town a lot. Some people will say, yeah, I know that guy. Where did I know him from? Because I've been around a long time. I have 2 grown children who probably are known better than I have, and that's probably how people know me. Ben and Sarah are now adults and having their own living, thank goodness, but probably people know me more from them. You know, I just want to go back a little bit because I've got certainly some history in Goffstown. And my wife and I moved here, as we say, almost 40 years ago now. And when we moved to Goffstown, we really didn't know much about the town. What I was looking for at the time, I had a business in Manchester and looking for something that was close commute. My wife was a teacher, and she ended up teaching in Bedford, New Hampshire. But we were looking for a small town. People, you know, we, again, starting out, small businessman, and we needed something affordable. And we also liked older homes. Well, we found one in this town called Goffstown. We knew nothing about it. And you know, we said, well, this would be a stopover. This would be a good starting point. Well, we found an old house, and I'm still in that old house, and I've still been fixing it for the last 40 years. But I've seen certainly a lot of changes in Goffstown. When we got here, it really wasn't a desirable community. It was really, people knocked it for its school system. It had a lot to be desired for sure. But we learned a lot as we went. We didn't have children at the time, so we weren't too concerned about schools. But I'm pleased to say that over the years, I've seen Goffstown grow and thrive, and certainly I'm glad that could be part of that. As Len mentioned, I've been elected to the planning board, the budget committee over the years. I've served on Main Street Board of Directors and worked on a number of committees in town for school building as well as athletics and kids sports. And so we were certainly involved, and we were involved with a lot of parents at the time that had young children or new families, and we wanted better for our children, just like most parents would, and we wanted a town that they could be proud of. And I think it certainly has come a long way, and I certainly have grown to love it. And I love hearing people talk about Goffstown now differently from when I first moved here, and talk about our great schools, our great downtowns, both in Bernardville Village as well as the village downtown, the improvements. It's a very good, walking town, good businesses that are thriving in town. So it's really become very respectable, and I'm glad I had a part in building to that point. But that, I guess, takes me to perhaps the reason why I'm running for state representative. I've been on the outside looking in for a lot of times. As I said, I did run an election back several years ago for a planning board, but I've watched elections, and I've watched people and how they operate. And I've noticed from the perspective of town politics that our town has changed, as I said, over the years. But I'm concerned that our representation hasn't changed with the town. We were a very conservative town when I moved in, and I think over the years the town has diversified significantly and brought people in from many different areas. And I think that's because we have such good services and good schools. So I'm concerned that we're not represented as to reflect what is here. And when I say that, I say the current representation, majority of the current representation, don't hold the views that I hold. And certainly more people I talk to in town don't hold their views either. I don't think they reflect the Goffstown community. I'll just give you a couple of examples quickly, because there was a lot of vetoes, as I think a lot of people know, by the governor. And over the years, there were like 57 vetoes. And those vetoes, some of those bills were bipartisan bills with regard to Family and Medical Leave Act, worker rights, gun safety rules, protections against children. There were a lot of those were vetoed. But the unfortunate part is I see that our representation, again, the majority of those representatives, were against those bills. And to me, that doesn't reflect what our community is. I really believe that. And I don't think people want to hear those kinds of issues. And I'm afraid that our representation is reflecting more of their party affiliation than what the citizens of Goffstown are. So I guess why I'm running is I really say I want to put the represent back into the representative. I want to be able to represent our community and reflect the views of our community. I've learned, I've run businesses, I've been on committees, I can interact with a lot of people. I think I'm very flexible, and I'm certainly somebody that I think gets along with most people and also can understand compromise. And I think that's what we need now in government. We really have to get back to really be able to compromise and help people get a little bit of each And that's what a compromise is. You might not get all you want, but I'm just so disappointed with the divisiveness in not only our national government, and believe me, I can't change that. I'm not trying to change that, but I think locally we don't need that. We don't need even, whoever, whatever party you're from. It really comes down to local and what's good for your town, and that's what I hope that I can represent, and hopefully the one voice that I have can change it. So I guess I'll close by saying that I hope people who know me will probably spread the word about me. I think people who do know me know I'm been a hard worker. I've worked very hard over the years in all my businesses, and I'm somebody that I think gets along with most people, and have worked hard for the town as well. And I'd certainly like to represent the town with common sense values. And I think that's what most people really want when it comes right down to it. I think there's those small majorities on each, small minorities on each side, each end of the spectrum. But I think most people want that balance and common sense. So I hope that you both, you all can work with me, work for me. I appreciate the people that have worked to put up signs for me, get the word out. I've learned a lot about social media, so it's going to be a tough election without social media, but I'm certainly looking forward to running a good campaign, and hopefully that I can get your votes. So thank you for your support, and I hope you all stay safe and well through this very trying time. So Len, I'm not sure if that's...
That is perfect, Dick.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much.
All right. Thank
And
you.
with that, we will welcome Robin McCune in to follow your act. Thank you very much. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you so much for having me on the show today. I appreciate it. Well, my name is Robin McCune. I've lived in Goffstown for 16 years. I love the town. I'm an avid runner, walker, kayaker. I love to bike. I just like being outdoors. I love to garden. So very, very much an outdoorsy person, and Goffstown is a perfect place for that. I have 2 kids. I have a stepson as well who's at Goffstown High School, and we just really enjoy the town. There's a lot to do here. There's a lot of community, but like Dick said, I think he said it very well. One of the reasons I'm running this year is that I've noticed that although there's more of a diverse community here, we are not seeing that diverse representation like he had said. And I'd like to be the person that reflects some of the views of maybe some of the other population. I graduated from Southern New Hampshire University and have a very strong background in nonprofit work. I worked at the Animal Rescue League of New Hampshire for 13 years. I worked at Easter Seals for 5 years, Families in Transition as well. I actually, when I left work because my son was ill, and I couldn't find proper childcare that could really take good care of him while I was away from him. I started my own business. So I went into business for myself for 5 years. I ran a wholesale baked goods business that catered to people that were vegan, gluten-free, had different dietary issues. And I learned a lot about business during that time. And that's how I also got involved with the farmers markets and being on the board of director for the Bedford Farmers Market. When my son got ill, it took a long time for us to find a diagnosis, and that is also a major part of the reason why I want to run this year. We searched for a diagnosis for over 3.5 years and went through a lot during that time. He went through a lot during that time. And we realized when we got the diagnosis that other families really need the help that we were lacking when we were going through this process. My son is great. He's healthy. He had something called, comes under the umbrella of autoimmune encephalitis. It's known as PANDAS, or pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorder associated with streptococcal infections. So kind of a mouthful, but we got the diagnosis. We were able to help him. He's doing fantastic right now. But many families are not. And I noticed right away throughout the United States, there are families that are struggling very hard. And there are families in Goffstown that are struggling very hard with this disorder. So I spent the majority of my time working as an advocate to help these families. And I joined the New England PANDAS Association. And I was on the board for 6 years doing board work that consisted of educating doctors, nurses, guidance counselors, educators, and families, and just kind of helping them navigate through healthcare systems and trying to help them get the help that their children needed desperately. So that the advocacy that I really developed through that time, I realized can go to a bigger level, that I can help advocate for the people of Goffstown, people in New Hampshire, through the healthcare system, whether they're dealing with chronic illness, whether they're dealing with something else. I mean, we're looking at COVID-19 right now there's chronic illness that's going with it. We're seeing long-term chronic vascular damage and neurological damage. So we really need our representatives to get on board and help us navigate our citizens through this healthcare system, help to, work on bills that are going to support our citizens. I feel very passionate about that. My own personal story really helped to shape who I am. Not only did my child go through something, I also developed Lyme disease and several tick-borne diseases that went with the Lyme. And I know many of you in Goffstown are dealing with the same thing. This is a very common issue. However, treatment, if it's not given early, can cause long-term chronic illness for that as well. And I feel very strongly that we need to shape our healthcare. We need to work hard to support our citizens, to support our elderly population who may not be getting the support that they're needing. My own family, we have chronic illness in my family, and I want to be able to support people like that. I want to help them. I want to advocate for them. I want to be there for them. So this is very important to me.
What do you think is going to be the biggest issue before the legislature next year if you become a member of it?
I think the most pressing thing, honestly, is going to be the ramifications of COVID-19, because it's affecting lives, it's affecting health, it's affecting our schools, and with the schools, it's affecting the schedule for working parents, it's affecting small businesses, and we have businesses closing down right and left. People are worried about their homes. They're worried about, buying groceries. They're worried about everything right now. We need to support our citizens, and those long-term ramifications, the health ramifications, the neurological and the vascular piece of it. We're going to need, physical therapy. We're going to need registered dietitians. We're going to have people that really need our support. And I think that is going to be so much to work on. I mean, that's the most pressing issue, but there's a lot, obviously.
Well, what other issues are near and dear to your heart as far as healthcare is obviously one. Are there any other things that you'd be interested? Say, what committee would you like to be on if you're in the House next year?
Well, Health and Human Services, I feel very strongly about mental health support. I think that's so important, especially to our citizens right now. I've spoken to a lot of citizens of Goffstown and of New Hampshire that have talked to me about feeling depression, anxiety that they've never felt before. I think that's really important. And so, Health and Human Service Committee would be wonderful. Also, I feel very strongly about the environment. I've listened to some of the things that Chris Pappas has been working on, and he said it really well. He talked about, some people will talk about plastics, or they talk about fossil fuels, or they'll talk about different things that we can do to help the environment. He said it as, think of it as a dashboard with a whole bunch of different little knobs on it. We need to turn all those knobs at once, and we need to make a deep impact in climate change and environment. So I do feel very strongly on that. So working in environment and agriculture, that would be a great committee for me as well. And education. I am a lifelong learner. I believe in continually educating yourself. I'm always learning more and looking at different programs and taking certifications, because there's so much more for us to learn. And I believe that our school we have an amazing school system that Brian Balke, our superintendent, has been wonderful through this whole pandemic. And I think we need to support our educators in our school system. I think that's very important.
Sounds like quite a bit to work on. Any closing thoughts?
I just want our citizens to stay safe, and please reach out to me anytime you would like to. You can reach me via email. It's Robin, ROBIN, M as in middle name Marie, and McCune, MCCUNE @gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. I want to hear from the citizens. I want to hear what issues impact you, because I can talk to you about what impacts me, but I'm here to represent you. So please, please reach out to me and talk to me about what's important to you.
Thank you very much, Robin. Just to let everyone know, this is the third in a series of programs, and we're going to be doing more over the coming weeks. You can watch these programs on GTV. You can find them on the video page of the Democrats' website, which is goffstowndems.com. You can search for the Goffstown Democrats channel on YouTube, or you can find them on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/GoffstownDems. Please like them. Please share them widely. Please vote in November. Thank you very much.